Predator Badlands is coming out in November, but we just got Predator Killer of Killers. So why not rank all the Predator movies now? For preference, this is my first time watching through the Predator franchise. I have seen Prey before watching this franchise, but that's the only movie I've seen. I have now officially seen this entire franchise, so this is my ranking after watching the entire franchise for the first time. With that said, let's get into it.
Predator 2. He's in town.
This has no right to be this bad. I can admit, there's moments in this movie that makes it from not being worse, as though it's already bad. The setting of LA saves the movie a bit. And of course, Predator is always a standout and saves a bit of the movie. But other than that, this film is complete crap. When it comes to the story or the pacing, it's all just incredibly weak. Badly weak. The story almost has nothing to do with Predator and just shows up to remind the audience, hey, this is a Predator film, don't forget that. And the pacing is awful. By the last 30 to 40 minutes of this film, I was like, just end this thing already. It does not need to be this long. And I was just sitting through suffering the back half of the film. I did find minor enjoyment in the first half, but I was completely done with the movie. I just wanted it to end. It was essentially torture to me. But when I look on Letterboxd, the average is a 3 out of 5. Obviously, I'm nowhere near there. Am I the only one who hates this film? Especially this badly? Another bad sequel to the original film, but is nowhere near as bad as Predator 2. This time there is plenty more enjoyable bits with solid kills here and there. But we focus way too much on the human characters. We do not care about them. You never make us care about them, so I don't need to care about them. And Predator was underutilized again. Why can't we make a good Predator sequel? Now I can admit, the first half of this film does a good job at hooking you into the story. It starts right when the movie starts, and it hooks you in right away. But why can't you just bring us exactly what the first movie brought? This movie fills it with a bunch of lore that is just not interesting. Can you just please give us what the first movie brought? That's what works so well. Why can't we just stick to that? Instead we get Predator 2 and Predator. Alien vs. Predator. Cool concept, uniting these two horror, they're not really horror, putting these two horror icons together. They did it for Freddy vs. Jason, I don't know which one came first, but now we do it for Alien vs. Predator. And this movie for me essentially feels like a MonsterVerse film. More specifically, Godzilla vs. Kong, where the entire movie, you're waiting for these monsters to fight each other. But to get to that point, you have to follow this huge bunch of human storyline that you do not care about whatsoever. The best part of this movie is the fight between Alien and Predator, but to get to that point is a bunch of human storylines where it sets up minor things that actually connect to Predator and Alien, but you're just waiting for the fight to happen. So all that human stuff is not as interesting as it needs to be. When the fights happen, it's the best part of the movie, but everything else is just simply boring.
The Predator.
It was this close to being good. Right there. There's a lot of things I like about this movie. There's a lot of things I enjoy about this movie. And overall, for almost all of the Predator sequels, up until this point in time, this one did it the best. But, like almost all of these sequels, there's a big pacing problem. It feels like a big slow burn. It's kind of affecting your enjoyment of the movie because the Predator movie is not supposed to run this slowly. But the frustrating part is I feel like this movie got a lot of things right, the action right. I actually enjoyed the story. I know a lot of people don't, but I'm one who did enjoy the direction that the story was going. But by the second half, I lost interest completely. I enjoyed the story at the start, but then it lost me. This one had potential. It had the best potential, and it was the closest to actually being good out of all the movies I mentioned so far, but just narrowly wasn't good. But real quick, if you want to help me reach my goal of 1K by the end of the year, consider hitting that subscribe button, and let's continue. Not just for preference, everything I mentioned up until this point, I thought was bad. Everything from this point forward, I think is a good movie. And I'm probably the only person on the planet that actually thinks Alien vs. Predator 2 is a good movie. It's just when I first watched it, I was expecting it to be a lot worse. Everything I heard about this movie was trash. But then when I actually watched it, I was surprised on how much I actually enjoyed my time with it. Yes, the movie can be dark and you can barely see anything, especially in that final act. The movie is dark in both ways. Like I just mentioned, you can barely see anything in the final act. But the kills are especially dark. And when I watch horror movies, I want things to be dark. For me, that just kind of matches the spooky vibe by making things as dark as you can. Not too dark, but I feel like this movie was able to match the tone of the kills it needs, making it feel more like a horror film. These Predator movies don't really qualify as horror, more action spy type. I don't really qualify them as the genre of horror because they're not really horror. This is really the only film that Predator is a horror film is because of this movie. And thanks to the kills, it kind of boosts that up as well, just for how dark they can actually be. It's exactly what I wanted out of this movie, which is why I actually like it compared to other people. Now for starters, you just have to appreciate this movie for the risk that it was willing to take. Animation, anthology, that is different in the Predator franchise, and I feel like for the most part, it was able to pay all that off. The animation looks great, the anthology story works, and they introduced a lot of new lore that I love, especially in that ending reveal. I can't wait for a sequel to see what they do next. But I'm not a fan of anthology movies, so that really holds back this movie for me. I want to love it more, but I never was a fan of anthology. I love the way they told the story. It's just anthology movies, historical movies, were never really my thing. Hence, why I didn't love this more. I do like this film. It's enjoyable. It just could have fixed a few more problems to actually make it better. But I'm glad that the Predator franchise is now on track. All the lore introduced in this movie, tying together all these movies in the franchise, is exactly what I want from this franchise and exactly what it needed to be. As proven with this ranking, I'm not a fan of half the movies on this list. And this movie is now connecting all these things together to make it a franchise. We actually have a franchise and actually know what we want to do with Predator, and now I'm actually excited for the future of this franchise. When watching these sequels, I wasn't. But this movie changed all of that, and I can't wait to see what happens now. If you haven't checked this out, I highly recommend it, especially if you're a Predator fan. It's exactly what you want from this franchise.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
The one that started it all, the original Predator, and sometimes you just have to appreciate the practicality behind some of these movies, the gore and such. It's all practical, so you just have to appreciate it for that. This is the movie, since it's the original, it was able to capture what Predator is the best. All the sequels failed at capturing what this original movie was, and that's being trapped in a jungle with this monster alien hunting you. And you have to find a way to smart the creature out. Just that simple premise like that is why this movie works so well. And almost all the sequels up until like fourth spot failed at doing that. Since it's the original, it's why it works the best. It was a new idea and it paid off. Just a simple concept like that pays off really well. Sure, I do have problems with the film, but it's the movie that started it all, but it's still not my favorite. We finally get a good sequel to Predator, and it's better than the original film. This time the movie actually improves on problems from every previous film. We care for the main character, we care for the story, and the kills are fantastic. This is how you do a Predator film. Sequels up until this point, before this movie came out, were all crap. And this one, Prey, actually finally made a good sequel, and actually set this franchise on the right course. And with Killers of Killers, it also proved that even more. And I can't wait to see what they do with Badlands because they obviously know what they want to do with this franchise now. So it's just a matter of time till we see what they do with it. When writing future Predator movies, they should always look back at Prey because this is how you do Predator, which is why it's my favorite one in the entire franchise. But anyways, if you like this video, maybe leave those on the side of this YouTube too. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.